Good morning! I think I have for sure nailed down my March reading list. This will be another month that we're not playing the TBR game because I have backed myself still into a corner with things that are time sensitive that I have to get read. I'm going to take a break from requesting arcs. We'll discuss that more in the February wrap up probably. But still, we will have the TBR ones have to be read and the MBR ones that I just want to be able to read this month. But if I don't get them, that's okay. And when I was first writing them down, it seemed like a lot. And I was like, oh, will I have time for all of them? And then looking at them on this list with like descriptions to where I can read to you, it doesn't quite look as like a lot. Let's go ahead and get started. Our first one is going to be the Buddy Club Book of the Month. This is What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. This is a YA historical fiction fantasy. Our main character is Inez Oliveira. This is not going to be a good day for Englishing. Apparently, I'm sorry, and I hope you will stick with me through the video, irregardless. She is Bolivian-Argentinian, and she belongs to the glittering upper society of 19th century Buenos Aires. And her parents are both, it just says globetrotting parents. I thought they were archaeologists, but, oh, her guardian is an archaeologist. And so she has to travel to Cairo, and she's an artist because it says she's got sketch pads. And she is drawn into a world, though, of ancient magic to uncover the truth of her parents' disappearance. It's a horrible description. I'm so sorry. And being a YA, there's, of course, like probably going to be the love interest with her guardian's young assistant, who's supposed to have to like kind of watch after her, make sure she doesn't get herself into trouble. It's described as The Mummy meets Death on the Nile. And oh my goodness, I want it to be that so bad. Love The Mummy, right? The first Mummy, the second Mummy, they're both good. Not the remake. The Brendan Fraser. We love that. Okay, so this one will be for sure read. It's not probably going to be the first read of the month though. Probably. Because, no, it's definitely not going to be the first read of the month. Because I had a library hold come in. So I have to get to that. Because I can still see there are people waiting after me. And that one's going to be my audiobook for Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jesse Sutanto. And this one, my son has the Libby app on his device too. And it popped up and he's like, why are you reading something about advice for murderers, Mommy? So I tried to explain slightly that it is an older lady who owns a shop and somebody died outside of her shop. And now she is trying to investigate who did it because she doesn't trust the police to be able to do it correctly. More correctly, though, would be Vera Wong is a little old lady, lady of a certain age, who lives above her forgotten tea shop in the middle of San Francisco's Chinatown. Despite living alone, Vera is not needy. Oh no, she likes nothing more than sipping a good cup of oolong and doing some healthy detective work on the internet about what her Gen Z son is up to. One morning, Vera trudges downstairs to find a curious thing, a dead man in the middle of her tea shop. In his outstretched hand, a flash drive. Vera doesn't know what comes over her, but after calling the cops like any good citizen would, she sort of, swipes this flash drive from the body and tucks it safely into the pocket of her apron. And the next one is another murder mystery type one that's an arc coming out really early in March, so I have to get to it soon. That's Off the Air by an author whose name I forgot to put here. It's Jolene Garcia was a local TV reporter in Phoenix, Arizona, splitting her time between covering general assignments, anything from monsoon storm to a newborn giraffe at the zoo, and special projects. Stories that take more time to research and produce. Stories that Jolene wants to tell. When word gets out about the death at a radio station, Jolene and other journalists swarm the scene, intent on reporting the facts first. The body is soon identified as Larry Lehman, a controversial talk show host who died under suspicious circumstances. Jolene conducted his final interview, giving her and her station an advantage, but not for long. As the story heats up, so does the competition. Jolene is determined to solve this murder. It's an investigation that can make or break her career, if it doesn't break her first. I haven't heard too much about this one, and I'd wanted to get to it in February, even though I had like a lot of other mystery things in February, which also seemed like it would work. We will get to it, though, early in March before it comes out. Then we might take a break from thrillery things again. Then one that I wrote on the MBR, but let's face it, I'm going to read it before going back to the next main novel in the series, because reading it after it wouldn't flow as well. This is going to be Queen Amid the Ashes by Christopher Rocchio. It is a tale of the Sun Eater saga. I'm going to say saga at this point. I think there's enough to consider it that, especially with its offshoots. Through the battle to save her planet is over, the war never ends. Though the battle, can't English. Hadrian Marlowe is newly a knight of the galaxy-spanning Solan Empire, a hero they say slew the alien prince Arenata Otolo. Yes, I think that's how they pronounce it. Hadrian Marlowe is newly a knight of the galaxy-spanning Solan Empire, a hero who they say slew the alien prince Arenata Otolo in single combat, a man they say no man or Cenobite can kill. Acting on the Emperor's orders, Hadrian has come to the desert planet of Thagora and driven off the Solarian, why can I never remember how to say the alien's name? Invaders, rescuing in the process Lady Gadar Malin, Baroness of the entire world. But not all the fighting is ended. Pockets of inhuman resistance remain on the desert world, and Hadrian the half-mortal must soon do battle with not only man-eating alien barbarians, but with something just as terrible, man's own inhumanity to man. According to the author himself, that's the reading order I'm going in, so that's why I'm picking this one up before the next main novel, which would be the last of the official TBR of the month, Demon in White, the third book of the Sun Eater series that is following Hadrian Marlowe, as we said. That was probably a spoiler to actually read that, wasn't it? Continuing on. Hadrian Marlowe, though, is our narrator through all of the main novels, as he is recounting his life story from when he was a young man up until the point of becoming known throughout the galaxy as the Sun Eater, and the events that led him there, and the thought process, and what was happening in this century-spanning war between humanity and the Cielsen. I remembered it. As he becomes involved in this war, when really he just wanted to be a scholar, and all the decisions, good and bad, and that he made through the years. And with the second book, and oh my gosh, the world and the lore, I love it. This takes place, of course, thousands of years in the future, as humanity has colonized our galaxy, and the Solan Empire is the galactic empire and the people who are in charge of it. And just the lore we're getting between humanity and the Cielsen and the connections, and yes. So things we found out in the second book, I love so much. Hadrian, though, himself was my biggest problem with that. Not even go read the description for this to you or to myself. I'm just going to go into it. Though I think this one is maybe the biggest out of them, because this is over 700 pages. But I will be doing the audio and the physical book, though, so it should make it much easier. But I do need to make sure to stop and tab things, or at least put bookmarks in the audiobook better this time, so I remember where to go back and tab things for notes and things. Now for our MBR books. The first one up is going to be The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. This is the second one in the duology. Is it the Stolen Heir duology? All of them take place in the world of Elfheim, which is a modern fairy book, kind of. It's not exactly urban, because more of the book takes place in Elfheim, which sits beside our world, within our world, kind of like we just can't see fairies, mostly. And Elfheim itself is a group of islands right off the New England coastline. And a little bit of this duology actually takes place in the mortal world, right along the eastern coastline. But we are following Surin and Prince Oak in this duology, as they are our main characters. And really, you should probably read The Folk of the Air. I might not have said that in my review originally, but after, thinking of it in time, you won't understand some of the motivations or the threat of a character particularly if you hadn't read that. Because Jude's coming in this book for sure. And then we have one that's maybe a graphic novel. I don't actually know if it's graphic novel or not. It's Tales of the Sun Eater Volume 1. Because see the picture of the cover. It's 7 stories from the universe of the Sun Eater. A new horror comes to a centuries-old war, a machine witch on trial for crimes against her own humanity, pirates in the black of space. Here are tales of the far future, of a time where mankind reigns across the galaxy, a time of war, of great evil, of greater heroes. Here are the tales of the Solan Empire and of the barbarians who dwell in the cracks between its stars. Here are the tales of strange far worlds, tales of battle, of desperation, and holy law. And here too are tales of a man who will change the fate and future of the galaxy as a whole. Tales of the Sun Eater of Hadrian Marlowe himself. So, yes, I'm excited to read that one. I'm excited to read that one. And last but not least is going to be To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods by Molly Chang. Maybe March, definitely April, beginning of April. So, heroes die, cowards live. Daughter of a conquered world, Rying hates the invaders who descended from the heavens long before she was born and defeated the magic of her people with technologies unlike anything her world had ever seen. Blessed by death, born with the ability to pull life right out of mortal bodies, Rying shouldn't have to fear these foreign invaders, but she does, especially because she wants to keep herself and her family safe. When Rying's gift is discovered by an enemy prince, he offers her an impossible deal. If she becomes his private assassin and eliminates his political rivals, whose deaths he swears would be for the good of both their worlds, and would protect her people from further brutalization, her family will never starve or suffer harm again. But to accept this bargain, she must use the powers she has always feared, powers that will shave years off her own existence. Somehow I messed up reading again. That's pretty much it for March. I did just think of something that needs to be added and I have no idea what to do. It's the prompt for March in the Year in Aurelium is a book that intimidates you. Either like start a new series or continuing a series with a book that intimidates you. And I can't think of anything. Like, I'm not really intimidated by books. I could say almost Malazan, but I don't want to start something like that big and that in depth while I'm in the middle of the Sun Eater series and trying to dissect that. So I really don't want to do that. So any suggestions would be welcome. Might also could say any of the books maybe that I do have here. Or it's intimidating to get to all of them this month. I don't know. Please suggest me something. And if you would like to read along with us for this one or any of the other books, the link in this discount card is down below. Feel free to join us at any time. Thank y'all for being here. I hope you're finding something awesome to read today, and I'll see y'all in the next one.